They consume, and then they return to their slumber. But it's not a deep slumber, and we must be cautious not to stir them from their rest. Shareholders. All they do is eat, sleep, and generate waste. And who has to clean up that waste? We do. And sometimes, after they pollute the world with their filth, they feel such ecstasy that they run around in joy and shout about what they have done, proudly. But make no mistake, while they may seem slothful, they are skilled hunters. Their freakish bodies contort in ways we cannot comprehend, and they don't have appendages, just weapons. Hello and welcome to episode 6 of the GTNH Steam Age miniseries. We are now entering the final chapter of this project. After we set up the Cactus Wonder, we will set up extractination for passive generation of resources, and after that, we will construct the Steam Supercompressor, the first endgame Steam Age multiblock, and we'll see how far we can go. Alright, setting up the Cactus Wonder. I have looked into all of these recipes, and I've looked at what offer value means, because it wasn't very clear in the tooltip, I think. I ended up actually looking at the source code, and basically what it does is you sacrifice an item in the input bus, and every second it consumes all of the items in the input bus and adds offer value amount of steam to the internal buffer of the multiblock. And then every second it outputs this much steam. So for example, if I put in a quintuple compressed Cactus Coke, the next second the Cactus Wonder will consume it, and it will generate 32.4 billion supercritical steam, but it will only output it at 512,000 per second. However, to keep this going at 100% uptime, I need a bit more infrastructure. Quite a bit more. It's not insurmountable, but it's a lot of work. So I checked the numbers here. It is more efficient to use the quintuple compressed Cactus Coke rather than the quadruple compressed, because this number is 11.25 times this number. But quintuple takes 9 times as much as the quadruple. And this 32.4 billion being emitted at a 512,000 per second rate, this ends up lasting about 17 hours. So I need to provide one quintuple compressed Cactus Coke every 17 hours for 100% uptime of the Cactus Wonder. That's actually somewhat doable. I can do all the compressions in time, because I need to compress all the way up from, Cactus Coke all the way to quintuple Cactus Coke. And that's a lot of compressions. I actually can do it with the steam squasher, but I need a tier 2 steam squasher, which is fine. It's just a bunch of steel. The hard part, well, it's not that hard, just kind of grindy, is to keep up with the Cactus Charcoal to Cactus Coke and also the Cactus to Cactus Charcoal. I need 8 infernal coke ovens, 4 for this step and 4 for this step. And as for generating the cactus itself, actually, 1 steam woodcutter is enough. So that's pretty nice. The trouble is getting all of the materials for that. I'll be back in a while and a half. I don't know where I'm going to put this actually. I think I'm just going to put it up here on the roof. I have a lot of machines to craft. I'll be back. Actually, upon further reflection, I think it's better for me to do the rock breaking and steam extractination first, because then I can just generate resources passively. And I really want to do that. I want to do that so bad. I'm so tired of mining. I've dug out like 3 entire copper veins and it's not enough. It's never enough. And even this thing is going to be so expensive. Look at this monstrosity. This is nothing compared to what's coming up, so I can handle this. As a sneak peek for what's coming up, look at this bad boy. I am not mining for this, I'll tell you that much. I had a little bit of trouble setting up the steam cobbler, but now I have it going. The structure doesn't show, and it also doesn't say in the tooltip that you need to put in water in the corners here, but you do. And also lava in the middle. I had to make a hologram projector to figure that out, but that's fine. I got that done. I've also turned this into a quad. Do you see it? Do you see how it's a quad? Here's a controller. Here's a controller. Here's a controller, and here's a controller. And this spot for all of the other controllers is actually empty, so it's not a conflicting build. So you can wall share 100% of this multi-block, and all you need to do is provide 3 extra cobbler controllers, and then you have a quad, which is I think, very, very cool design. That is super cool. I have it set to make cobblestone at the moment, because cobblestone, I'm going to be forge hammering down into gravel. So I'm going to make another steam presser for that, dedicated to this. And then this gravel is going to be sent into a mixer. So I need to make a mixer for this. And it's going to make gravel sluice. Gravel sluice gets sent into the extractinator, which I am yet to build because it needs a lot of stuff. But the extractinator will give me crushed iron, crushed copper, crushed tin. Also clay dust, crushed salt, and crushed coal. I don't really care about the salt and coal. Maybe I'll store it in a drawer and void overflow or something, but what I'm really after is the copper and the iron. Even the tin I can get by with mining at the moment, but I imagine that will not scale well, so I'm after the top row for the most part. I haven't done the math to see how many extractinators I need for a quad cobbler, how many forge hammers, how many mixers, but I'm pretty sure this is not going to keep up because look at how fast it fills up. It's not like lightning fast, but I think it's faster than I'm going to be able to process with a single machine. So I'm going to get back to work on extractination. Once I have that going and I have my passive supply of raw materials, I can continue on. And I'll finally put together the Cactus Wonder. I still haven't done that. Oh my god, I have finally chopped down the Bricoya tree. It has literally been like 2 weeks, and it's finally been chopped down. Check this thing out. It is so big. It was really fun to build, and it is so rewarding to see that on my first attempt, the structure formed, and I could start making materials. Oh, it's so good. I'm going to turn it off though, because there's not a lot of space in this output bus, and I want to do a little filtering so I can send things to drawers and whatever. But this thing, I think, is designed to be turned into a quad, because it kind of has these slots in the structure. Maybe I'll show you in this. So there are these 4 slots around the side of the main steel structure. And it seems like you can just kind of slot in these, the bronze parts. So it should be pretty easy to turn this into a quad. But I'm not sure if I can, reflect this, because that would be needed to turn this into a quad. I can easily turn it into a double if I put the bronze thing on the opposite side, like the diagonally opposite side. But if I put it on either of the other 2 slots, I don't know if the structure will form, because technically the controller would be facing the wrong way. So I don't know. So it does make iron ore, copper ore, and tin ore, which the crushed versions smelt into nuggets, which is a little annoying. So I kind of had to send these to a forge hammer and then to a smelter. But it is what it is, I guess. So another forge hammer coming up. I don't know where I'm going to put it. Not here, because I need to leave the space open for potential future expansion. Maybe I'll put it like somewhere here or something. I don't know. I'll dig out a little more space here because this is quite ugly. But at this point, I don't think the shareholders care too much about aesthetics. They just want results. So I'm going to set up my sorting and my further processing, and then finally I can get back to working on the Cactus Wonder. Also, before I continue, I made this seem like I did this really quickly. I have been playing a lot of Steam Age. This has been 100 hours. And this Extractinator alone took quite a while. A lot of manual labor, just mining iron, mining copper. I'm so glad I'm done with that. Oh yeah. It's all going now. Oh, it's so good. Okay, so let me explain what's happening in this monstrosity over here. So, the cobbler makes cobblestone. Comes out here. Cobblestone is sent into the steam presser, which forge hammers it down into gravel. Gravel goes into the steam blender, where it's mixed with water, to make gravel sluice. We get our gravel sluice that goes into the extractinator. It goes into the top, and here at the bottom, we generate the crushed ores and clay dust. The crushed ore and clay dust are split, so the clay dust, the salt ore, and the coal ore are sent into this drawer. where any overflow is voided, and everything else is filtered into one of 3 input buses. So the iron goes in here, copper goes in here, and the tin goes in here, into a second steam presser. This one is tier 2 because it needs to be quite a bit faster to keep up. And I'm not totally sure this is fast enough either, so I might need a second one. We'll see. Currently the bottleneck is actually smelting. So here I have 2 steam forges, actually 4. There are 2 more in the back, so this is a quad. And the output, the crushed dusts here, or the impure dusts, they go into the input. And the input is on the bottom, and it's shared with all 4 furnaces. The block above this input bus is the pipeless steam hatch, which is also shared between 4 of them, which is very nice, very efficient. And at the top here, underneath this drawer controller, is the output bus. That pushes into the drawer controller, and everything gets stored here. And already, I've generated so much iron, copper, and tin. It's so good. And I think, to be honest, I'm going to void upgrade all of them. I don't want any of them to run out. So this is just going to keep running forever. Now I'm going to gather the materials I need to make the Cactus Wonder automation. So I'm going to make a new woodcutter because I do want to still have the wood. I don't want to really touch any of the existing infrastructure. I don't want to move any of this stuff. So I need a new woodcutter, a couple more coke ovens, 8 more coke ovens, another tier 2, not this, another tier 2 compressor, which I don't think I've actually made the multi-block compressor yet. I've just been vibing off of this single block compressor. So I need to make a tier 2 compressor, some infernal coke ovens, a woodcutter, and the Cactus Wonder itself, which I have stored in a chest somewhere, one of those 2 chests. And then we truly begin the final chapter of this project. This was all preparation. I am in the process of putting together the coke ovens right now. I've set up one set of 4. It doesn't look like 4, but it's 4. Let me show you. The second set of 4, these are the controllers. Isn't that so cursed? They're just inside each other. Because the structure check doesn't actually check for it to be hollow. So you can put things inside. Which means this is valid. Not only that, the way this is structured, I can have one set of input bus, output hatch, and output bus. And it works. It shares the inventories between all 4 of these infernal coke ovens. This is not my own idea. I saw this somewhere else, but I just had to use it because you save so much on resources. So yeah, most cursed quad Wallshare I've ever seen in my life. Now I've started compressing my cactus coke, and I'm currently up to triple compressed. I still don't have a quad or quintuple yet. A quad will take about 2 hours, and a quintuple will take about 17. So this is the perfect time for me to stop this episode and do something else. Probably just going to leave this running for another 17 hours so I can get started. But once I have my first quintuple, I don't think I'm going to be using the supercritical steam faster than I'm making it. So after my first one, I can start doing things. But more on that in the next episode. Thank you for watching this episode of the GTNH Steam Age miniseries. At this point, I don't really have anything to say, so see you next time.